Welcome to the IAdeaCare device configuration. In this video, we will go over the device page introduction. Then we will go ahead and move on to the how-to functions. Finally, we will go ahead and show a demonstration video. What is on the device page? The device page shows all information and functions available to that specific player. You can access the device information by clicking on the player. From your dashboard, you'll click on the selected player that you want to view. And when it loads, you'll be directed into the player dashboard. So the first thing you'll see is the screenshot. It'll also report the last screenshot capture time. To your right, you'll have all your general settings, your network settings, and your licenses. This can include your IAdeaCare license as well as your Synapse Cloud license along with the expiration dates for both. What are the device functions? The three main functions are the reboot, update firmware, and basic and network configurations. Your key major functions will all be located on the bottom of the screenshot. Your very first one is to reboot. So if you want to reboot the player remotely, you'll select on this, hit apply, and this will go ahead and send that command over to your player and prompt a quick reboot. For the player to update firmware, you can also do that remotely. You'll click on update firmware, and from here you'll have two methods. You can choose the latest version, which will select the latest version uploaded to our support site or our web servers. When you select through this, you'll click next, and it will go ahead and compare your current version to the new version. It will tell you if a update is needed or if you will be going forward or backwards within the versions. For specific URL, so if you have a download or package of your choice, you can go ahead and upload the URL here, and it will go ahead and send the command to the player to update the firmware from that URL specifically. For your basic configurations, you'll select basic configurations and you'll be able to change your player name, your content source URL, any of these app start settings. For more information on these app start settings, you can visit our support site or email us directly. You can change the output resolution and the display orientation. For your scheduling, you can change your time zone and your time server. You can either enable that for default using your app start URL as your time server or a customized one of your choosing. From here, you'll also be able to set your reboot schedule. So here you can disable or enable, and then you can change what time your player will reboot every day. By default, it does reboot at 4 a.m. daily. For your network configurations, so here you can configure your Ethernet or your Wi-Fi. For your Wi-Fi, you can select your network. You can refresh it. You can also enable your static IP. But for Ethernet and Wi-Fi, just remember that if you ever do disable it, you will need to physically go to the player to restart. Once you disable it, or once you disable this option, it will disconnect the player from the network. So you won't be able to control it afterwards. The next function here is the troubleshoot function. So from here, if anything goes wrong with the player and you need to send a support ticket in, you can go ahead and click this button and you can send a troubleshooting ticket remotely. So from here, you'll just select, so from here, you'll go ahead and type in your subject. So troubleshoot player fail. You can describe your issue, player reboots minutes, and then you could choose your symptom type. So whether it's a playback crash, constantly reboot, or others, we'll choose constantly reboot. Frequency every hour. Click next, and once all this information is requested, you'll hit apply, and it will go ahead and start collecting that debug data from the player itself and automatically zip that file up and email it directly to our support email under your account email. So once the support team receives that, we'll go ahead and reply directly back to your account email. User activities. So this is where you will see the user activities for the player. So as you can see, we in this activities log, you've seen that we've added a license, uh, issued a reboot, as well as collecting a troubleshooting log. So for alert settings, this is where you can go and create a rule. You'll be able to create rules for the system to send you a email alert anytime the player goes offline or disconnects from the network or even reboots or stops playing content. For share player is a function which allows you to share your players from a master account to your sub accounts. So if you're the main administrator and you want to share this account with another collaborator or another sub account, you'll go and click on the green plus button here. And from here, you can go and type in another person with a IAdeaCare account. And then from here, you'll be able to set the settings for that sub account. An editor basically gives full administrative access as well. Viewer only allows you to share with the sub account the ability to view the player. So they'll be able to log in and see the configuration settings and the screenshot, but they won't be able to actually configure any settings in the player. Once you have all these set in, you go and click next and apply. And that shares most of the functions. Another button here is a quick shortcut to the add a license button. So this will take you to the license tab where you'll be able to add license or reallocate licenses to other players or to your specific player.